it again. They come from behind, 2-0 down at the Emirates Stadium. Thomas Partey, Ben White, and almost a forgotten man, Reece Nelson, with the winner in beyond injury time, the 97th minute of the game. Arsenal win, 5 points clear at the top. This is what champions are made of. This is what champions do. Arsenal fans, I bet you're shaking. City fans will be fuming. And what of Tottenham today? They bottle it after dominating Wolves at almost the same time. This is why the Premier League is beautiful. This is why the Premier League is unpredictable. And this is why you never doubt Terry, the GOAT Fluers. I told all Gooners, don't doubt your team. This team is something special. This team is something to write home about. This Arsenal team is exquisite. And they made mistakes today. They were 2-0 down. But they did not give up. The crowd did not give up. They got behind their team. Big saves from Ramsdale that could have put the game beyond doubt. There was some dodgy moments defensively today. Saliba asleep in the beginning. Thomas Partey from the corner. But they were resolute. They dug their heels in and they got themselves through it. And look, Bournemouth sat very deep. It was very, very difficult for Bournemouth to maintain what they started. And take nothing away from Bournemouth, a solid performance from a relegation team. And some will say, why should Arsenal celebrate coming from behind against relegation teams? Well, that means you've never watched the Premier League before. It means you've never watched football before. This time of the year is when the relegation teams, in some respects, put up their best performances, when they're fighting for their lives and they thought they'd got something. They thought, they believed. They thought and they believed they were going to get themselves a quantum of solace, a small piece of hope moving forward. But this Arsenal team is unstoppable. This Arsenal team are, in my opinion, champions-elect. And today is another reason as to why. I keep telling people you don't write, even if they'd have dropped points today, I wouldn't sat there and gone, I wouldn't write them off. There's too much spirit. There's too much passion. There's too much togetherness between the players, the coaching staff, the fans, and everybody involved. This team is something special. There is no doubt about it. You can't get away from it. Champions-elect as far as I am concerned. And this is why the world of football is scared of them. I'm not going to lie. At 2-2, I'm thinking, half a chance here of a title push by Man United. And the goal went in. And listen, as a football fan, as someone that has created the first original neutral channel on YouTube, I'm not going to throw salt over it. Yes, the goal came after 96 minutes. It was time added on, which is why I don't think there's an agenda to get Arsenal. Although I do think some of the decisions on those handballs today were downright scandalous. And we'll talk about them later on. But this Arsenal team does not know when it's beat. This Arsenal team does not know how to walk off into the night, to skulk off into the darkness quietly. Win, lose, or won't draw the Premier League, but win or lose this Premier League, they are going nowhere quickly. Doubters, shush. Haters, you've been exposed. The salt is going to give you high blood pressure, so calm yourselves down. Gary Neville, listen, you're going to lose your bet, mate. You're going to lose your bet and you're going to come unstuck. This Arsenal team is something else this year. And I know Gooners find it a joy to behold. A joy to behold. Craig here is an Arsenal fan, says, Terry, I'm so emotional. There is so much beauty in football, and even the more beautiful when it's your team. Listen, as a football fan, I remember years ago, it was Tottenham's birthday, and they were 4-1 down with about 5 minutes to go. And I was in a pub in East London with my mates. None of us support Tottenham that were out on that night. Arsenal, Liverpool, and United fans. And when Tottenham equalised to make it 4-4, Kabul, the whole pub actually kind of celebrated. And for a moment, we were like, we're not for Spurs fans. Because for a minute, it was just football. It was just football. And you sometimes feel that. And of course, listen, if Man United were only a point or two behind Arsenal, I'd be fuming. I can't as a job. I've got to be professional, But my word, what a comeback that was. Out of this world. Out of this world. I almost knew it was coming as well. I could feel it. I could sense it, that it wasn't over. Unlike Tottenham. Listen, Tottenham have given Man United a get out of jail free card tomorrow. Almost a free hit against Liverpool with losing their game. More on them to come. Of course, Chelsea won today as well. Chelsea won 1-0. We'll be talking Chelsea, getting Chelsea fans on the show. I hate it when all the teams play at the same time. But you know what? It is the nature of the beast. But listen, I think overall, I mean, Arsenal deserved it on the run of play. They had the most shots, they had the most attempts, they dominated the ball. It was just, it almost felt like one of those days. And Arsenal of old, Arsenal of 1 year, 2 year, 3 years ago, loses this game. They lose that Villa game. They concede late against Leicester. And that is where this team is different. There's that strength. And I disagree with Gary Neville. Showing passion, showing desire, being infused, almost going over the top with your celebrations, if there is such a thing, when you win a big game or a decisive game or a game that you turn around out of the blue, those emotions are acceptable. Now, Gary Neville said the other day that the emotions is what's going to cost Arsenal. We'll go back and watch Gary Neville's celebration when Michael Owen scored the winner against Man City back in 2009. Go back and watch Man United's celebrations when Ronaldo scored a last-minute winner against Fulham and run to the bench. Go back and watch Man United's celebrations in 2009 when Kiko Makeda scored the last-minute winner. Go back and show me that Man United team, the most decorated team in Premier League history, not quote-unquote over-celebrate. This fan policing in general is wrong. Saying what someone says is wrong or dead or not funny is one thing. But trying to police fans from having opinions, trying to police fans from celebrating, it's nauseating. Whether you're Gary Neville doing it or whether you're a gooner that wants to go out their way to shame anybody that's ever said one negative thing about the club, you're boring. Enjoy your wins and move on. It's as simple as that. Arsenal celebrating the way they do, the passion that is seeping through every orifice of these players, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why they are going to win the league. And the maddest bit is, as a United fan, my players are doing it right now when we win games and score goals. So why am I going to criticize it? Limbs and armpits are what you want, bruv. That's football. This is why, listen, I never really applied to any jobs anywhere. I'm going to get myself on TalkSport soon and start schooling these clowns. I've had enough of reacting to their videos. Get me on live on the air with them and watch what I do, because it's getting boring now. You can't over-celebrate. You shouldn't celebrate wins like that. Do one. Absolutely do one. To try and eradicate that from football would be nothing short. You'd kill the game. You actually would kill football. Football would be over. Football would be finished if you got rid of celebrations. It really, really would. Of course, we are going to be talking more than just Arsenal on this show today. Tottenham lose again. They flop. Wolves beat them against the run of play, by the way. But what a strike from Adama Traore. Gooners, if you haven't seen the goal yet, I know you're in ecstasy right now with your team's win. Go and see it. It was a scissor kick, like half volley from the edge of the box, crossbar and in to sink the Spuds. And I'm glad they lost. Nothing to do with a personal agenda. They would have finished the game about 3 points behind United. They're now 6 points behind us. We have 2 games in hand. We beat Liverpool tomorrow. That's 11 points clear of 5th. That will guarantee, in my opinion, Man United top 4 in Champions League football. So thank you, Wolverhampton Wanderers. I've got a personal relationship with that club. Thank you for what you did today. Over the moon. I'm actually going to message a few of the Wolves people after this show, especially the player liaison officer. Can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait. They didn't do it for me, but I'm taking it. By the way, we're not on enough likes. We're closing in on 7,000 viewers. We should be on 3,500 likes minimum. Get that like button smashed. I'm going to go to your super chats here. I want to know what you're all thinking and feeling. Adam says, I am still shaking. Come on, you gooners. Football, listen, as an Arsenal fan, you should be shaking and you should be partying the rest of the day. Whatever your plans are, unless it's fun, cancel them. Unless it's fun, cancel them right now. I can't believe it. I love my team. I love my team. Glory, glory. Come on, you gooners. Nelson has somehow done it again. Literally screamed when he scored. What a cracker on his left foot. That Reece Nelson is a fringe player, but he's an Arsenal man. That will mean more to him than most football players in your squad. And he's earned his keep. This is what you want from your fringe players, your bench players, to come on and make an impact. Sensational from him. My prediction, Arsenal League, United Europa, Man City, FA Cup, Real Madrid Champions League is what Omar believes. I take that as things stand. Arsenal won, but I'm keeping the same energy. That was by far the worst display from VAR I've ever seen. Period. Tell me that wasn't criminal. 6 handballs. Was it 6 handballs? I thought it was 4. 3. I thought it was 3. 6 handballs and not 1 given. But what a game is what Joshua Loveless has got to say here. I thought it was 3 handballs. I didn't see the other 3. I tweeted about a few of them. Great win and great determination. 2 sloppy goals to give away. So proud of this team, and the substitutions have been brilliant. The substitutions really worked. I think taking Smith Rowe off was a masterstroke. He was looking tired. He came on fairly early, so it wasn't like the sub being subbed because he was poor. Are you saying there was 4? You're some saying there was 5. Some saying 5, not 6. I thought there was 3. Send me through some DMs of them, and I'll get them up on the screen. But yeah, look, I think the subs were very, very good from Arteta today. Great point raised there, Dan. Send the apology letters now, is what's been said. Great mentality. We must not get overconfident, is what Akhil says. Terry, I'm 20 years old. What just happened? I've never felt before. Once Reece got the ball, I knew it was in. This team gave me my passion back. As a 20-year-old, you've never seen this for Arsenal. This hasn't happened for 2 decades for Arsenal. Last-minute winners in a title race. It hasn't happened. This didn't exist. For a lot of you, this is the first time in your life you're experiencing it, so enjoy it. And do not listen to the naysayers that say don't over-celebrate. There's no such thing as over-celebrating a win like that. Drink it in. I'm 35 and been in title races. This side is lethal, is what Headbangers says. Listen, I totally get it, my bro. Monster mentality. Come on, you gooners. VAR is a disgrace. John Brooks thought it was a basketball game. I don't want to hear refs 98-minute winner with 6 minutes left on. Well, that's why I think referees make mistakes, but there's no agenda. Because if there was an agenda, that whistle gets blown at 96 minutes, doesn't it? Thank you here for this donation, but no comments been made. But thank you. This is, why can't we celebrate a last-minute goal? Who are they to say that? This kind of moments are what defines a title-worthy winning season. Dark horses. You started as dark horses. You're now the front runners, but I hear you. But equally, even if Bournemouth scored a last-minute winner like this and they stayed in relegation, they wouldn't have done it if they'd won today. But even if they did, you celebrate these moments, especially the fans in the ground. Do you know how much money match-going fans spend to be there? To not celebrate it would be idiotic and stupid. Amazing, not at our best. Fair play to Bournemouth for their effort, but we found a way on a bad day. Most important thing is 3 points. We move on, is what Guna Duke says. Referee awful, even with the win. Time wasting from 11 minutes. Well, that's why the extra minutes were added on. There was time wasting, and I think that was good refereeing to actually add that on and allow it to be played out. There's no doubt about it. I'm trying to get through these super chats to bring out my panel, but there's so many, I'm just going to have to get through them. Awful ref today. Oh, sorry, I already done that one. This here says, I've struggled with depression and etc. After I messed up my knee and couldn't play anymore. This team makes me want to coach again. This game, man, is what Neto says. Well, big up to you, Neto, for feeling better. These are the types of games of future champions. This was a title-winning performance from Arsenal today. Title-winning performance. How do I know that? And how can I say it with authority? Because I've witnessed a certain club in Manchester do this my entire life. Well, until 2013. Honestly, what a joy this Arsenal team is to watch. Hate to admit it, but I was smiling sarcastically at the last couple of minutes. I knew a goal was coming. Man United fan, by the way, is what Tywin Lannister says. Let's go. Have a title win, and who allowed Chelsea to win? Lol. Hit it, Reece. We could see it coming, but we still had to wait for that moment, is what Sky King says. 3 points with a game in hand behind Tottenham. 2 games in hand. Sorry, 3 points with a game in hand behind Tottenham if we beat you guys tomorrow. Oh, sorry, you're a Liverpool fan. Let's see what happens. Shocked to see both top 4 contenders teams flop today. I'm not surprised about Newcastle. I'm not surprised about Tottenham. They are so inconsistent. Their fans get too giddy. They're a bang, 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 bang average elite level team. I'm in love with the Arsenal, is what Nitsu has got to say here. I bet you are, my friend. I bet you are even more so today. I absolutely bet you are. I've got loads more super chats to go to. I may have to save some until the panel come out because otherwise we're never getting a panel out. Lads, time wasting at 90 to 91 minutes. Lol, Terry, my heart is what Ibby says. Yeah, I bet your heart is pumping like you would not believe, Ibby. Rested players midweek for this, by the way. Seeing them taking chances early in the first half pissed me off. Where was that Wednesday? Pathetic group is what... Listen, Cal, I keep telling Tottenham fans, you know, this is partly on your manager. Your club's a mess. And that's why you never rest players. When you're a team that doesn't win... I've seen Man United fans do it. Arsenal, Tottenham, you rest players, you go out. Oh, it's okay. We've rested them. We'll win at the weekend. It's bad logic because now you're out of the FA Cup and you're in trouble in the top 4 race. And for what? Catastrophic management. Win will paper over the cracks. Beautiful fight from the boys, but my heart can't take this week in, week out. It must be written in the stars. Listen, I know because I had my heart checked a lot recently. Excitement and stress will only really have an impact if you've got an already weakened heart. If you're quite young and you're quite fit, excitement doesn't really do anything. Physical exertion does. So just eat well, exercise, and you can take this stress. Generally speaking, I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying. The win today is the biggest loss, is what Matty says about Chelsea winning because it means Potter is going to stay. Chelsea fans are angry they lost. I love it. I love it. We'll be getting Winter Surfer on to talk about that on the show later on. So stay with the football, Terrace. Nearly 8,100 viewers. Wow. Let's get the likes up on this. And please make sure you've all got the bell notifications turned on as well. Tez, sorry, Bournemouth robbed by a cheating ref is what Paul Brook has to say here. Expand on that, Paul. How did he cheat? I want to know. Terry, I'm genuinely emotional. I quit this game playing wise because of an injury. I was depressed, not going to lie, but watching it makes me want to coach again. Thank you, my bro. Big up to you for feeling better. Thank you for the super chat, Josh. Everyone complaining about extra time. Thank you, Neto and Adam Smith. Cry rivals is what Come On You Gooners 11 has got to say. Got to appreciate Bournemouth playing rugby is what Adam says here. Arsenal are going to win it. It's in the stars. Believe it. Daniel here says, Nelson is a game changer. My emotion levels are so high right now. I thought it was all over when Bournemouth made it 2-0. By the way, no Tottenham fans have turned up backstage. Not one has turned up again 2 games running. I'm disgusted at you all. What a moment for Reiss Nelson, the stuff of dreams. Well, this is it for Reiss Nelson. He's probably never going to become a regular first-team player at Arsenal. I don't think he's good enough to do that. But if you win the title this year, a born and bred Gooner from birth will have a winning goal in a critical game that earned you 2 extra points that may be the difference between winning it and not. Listen, he will never be regarded as a better player than a Harry Kane. But he'll have that. He'll be able to tell his grandkids, look what I scored and look what it helped lead to. That is legacy. That is what winners do. Glad fans are on the pitch. Weren't as meg as ones online. I don't know what that means. Rewrite that again, bro. I don't know what you mean. Reiss Nelson, the actual GOAT. Absolute naughty strike, punishing Neto for the blatant time wasting. Man United of old won leagues on last-minute goals. Exactly. And Gary Neville definitely celebrated. I'm in the US. It's 9 a.m. I scream so loud, the cops are here. That was a champions display. Come on, you Gooners. So proud of you boys, is what Charlie has got to say. Terry, is there a link for today's show? Mad hype. Yeah, I'll share the link in the live comment sections now for other people. That's for you, Gooner Saracen. Been watching since 0203. It's been so long since I've seen the Gooners play so well. 5 years ago, this game would have been over. I think 2 years ago, it would have been over. This is the growth of this Arsenal team. 2 years ago, this game was over. This game would not have been a win. You would not have won this match. There's no doubt about that in my mind at all. Arsenal would not have been able to have done that. I did a goal celebration slide on my tiled floor after that, and I will happily pay for it tomorrow, is what Optus. Listen, pay for it. Have fun. If I was drinking at the moment, my team didn't even win, and I'd have a drink. Plus me, I'd get more abuse than anybody when Arsenal don't win, by the way. Trust. It's crazy. As much as it pains me because it's Arsenal, there is something in the air for this team. I said they dipped but now I think Arsenal are close. Remember, they dipped and it was over, Ray. 4 wins on the bounce, 2 from behind. It was crazy to write Arsenal off. It was absolutely senseless to write them off. Result, but PGMLO needs investigating for those penalties that weren't given. Listen, I hear that, but it will go on undiscussed now because of the way you won. But I hear you. Terry, it's 4 a.m. and I woke up the neighbors. Go on, Stephen. Celebrate, my guy. Be louder. Your neighbors. These kinds of wins make me feel better than a 5-0. I hear you. I hear you. It's Arteta's best subs for today. 2 of them scored. Absolutely. I have to admit, I was busy telling my boy Reece isn't good enough, and he dropped a 9 out of 10 performance. Let me tell you this, Raul. You don't need to apologize for saying Reece James isn't good enough. What you meant, and we all knew what you mean, is Reece James isn't good enough to start week in, week out in the team. And if he starts 10 games on the bounce, he's not going to do that in 8 of them. He can't do what Saka does. He can't do what Martinelli does. But he's a good squad player. So I know what you meant, Raul, all those weeks ago when you said he wasn't good enough. You mean to move the needle every week in your first team. But he's a fringe player. That's his level. So he could either be a fringe player for Arsenal, win some medals, or he can go and play a relegation team as a first teamer. That's not a dig. That's reality. All teams have that. Man United, Wes Brown, John O'Shea, Nicky Butt, all these guys, when they left Man United, they didn't go tear up trees somewhere. They played at mid to low level teams as first teamers. But as rotation players for the first team squad, they were good enough. There's a fundamental difference. So, yeah, you have nothing to say sorry for when saying that, my friend, I assure you. You sharing the link. That's done, Don. That's done. Gunners Guna here. Thank you for keeping it real. What a game. The Terrace always keeps it real, bro. Everyone's copying what we do, copying our flow now, and I'm inspired by it. I don't call out people that do similar channels, similar shows, similar feel to what we do. I'm inspired by it because it shows what we're doing works. The way people now talk about Arsenal, people doing generic shows or launching generic channels. It's what we do. But you got to keep them real for them to work. Otherwise, people don't want to listen. Because why would you want to listen to me lying about your club? That would be proper weird. Proper weird. There'd be no point to it. No point to it. To be an Arsenal fan, you need blood pressure tablets, is what Silver Runin says. Love that. Terry, traveling to Canada, how do I get Arsenal how do you get Arsenal tickets? Drop me a DM. I can put you in contact with people that should be able to get you some Arsenal tickets. I know some people that will be able to get that for you. Like good price and not like extortionate tout levels. Leeds are a joke. Lost to Hogwarts FC. Ref blew very late, in my opinion. Terrence, that's a fact. I get you, but that's because Bournemouth were time wasting, so he added the time back on. So I personally blame them. I blame them as opposed to like the referee. If they hadn't have time wasted, they'd have won the game. I have been an Arsenal fan since 2015. The football gods are rewarding me for being loyal, is what Don says. Game was insane. Woke up everyone here at home with that last goal. I'm in South California. Come on, you gooners. Big up Jay in Cali. Doubters at this point are funny. True. Very true. My son's in hospital. It's 4 a.m. and I screamed the hospital down. No F's given. I'm absolutely ecstatic. So proud of my Gunners. Love, Reece. First of all, hope your son is good and well and in no danger and no issues. But equally, a bit of excitement's good for you. Good for you. Patch Adams said that, which is based on a true story, I believe. So hope your son enjoyed it as well. Reece Nelson has more goals than Richarlison. Richarlison's a bum. I'm from Sydney and in the UK for my honeymoon. You came to England for a honeymoon. That's a madness, bruv. I suppose you can have sex anywhere, but still, I've got to watch the Leicester game. I'm hoping to see Fulham game too. It's incredible to be able to say that I've seen a title-winning side. It will be, bro. But make sure you are giving your new wife or husband some good. You need to do it, bro. And you better be going. That's all I'm going to say to you, bro. Finally, because you've got to go. You got to. Trust me. None of that. No, it's nasty. Women love it. They love it. I mean it. Well, yeah. Anyway. I know you Aussies love England. You're basically English anyway. If your grandfather wasn't a criminal, you'd be English. Our Fergie goals this season is what makes me believe Arsenal are going to win it. By the way, Egal will be joining us, and Jess will be getting Winter Surfer on. Brandon will be here, Saracen Gooner as well. But no Tottenham fans. Where are the Spurs boys at? Jordan, Patty, Orchie, Little Dan, where are you? Where are you? That's how champions play. We are playing that type of football. I agree with you. I agree. Guna Soul says, let's not forget 4 VAR moments. Did not get a single 50-50. Blatant handball not given. Arsenal agenda is real. Thank you very much, Ethan. You didn't say anything, but thank you for the donation. And Pete here says, seeing rivals cry over injury time makes the win even better, but you could tell they didn't watch the game. Absolutely. It's also why I don't do the bitterness, because the bitterness just makes you feel sick. It's being bitter and not accepting how good Arsenal are that makes it kind of, it's already annoying watching Arsenal be good. But what makes it worse is lying to yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't ever lie to yourself, people. So happy for Reece Nelson. 2 sub appearances, 3 goals is class. Very good return. Tavin says, Danny Welbeck against Leicester was the goal that felt similar and still pales in comparison. The time was added because of the time wasting in extra time. What a goal. Fan since 1998. I haven't screamed like that ever. I'm 43. Go on, Pops. 43 screaming like that. 6 minutes of extra time, but it was 2 minutes after the 2 minutes after that really cost Bournemouth. They were disrespectful to waste time in extra time. The footballing gods have spoken, and I think they very much have done that. Time to bring out my panel. I will be rotating more of you in, so stay backstage. Make sure like buttons are being hit and subscribing. The big breaking news today, though. Arsenal came from 2-0 down to win sensationally, courtesy of a Reece Nelson wonder goal at the end of the game. Spurs, due to an equally good goal from Adama Traore, the greased up fullback, the greased up running back, made Tottenham lose again to a point where no Spurs fans have showed up. They're not here. They don't want to know. And Chelsea, on their first game, I think of 2020. Listen, I don't know when their last win was. It's been that goddamn long. Hit the like and share button. Panel time. Let's go. Welcome back to the show. Jess, Egal, Guna Saracen, Brandon, how you feeling about that? I don't know how you're feeling. You came in here and screamed my ear, but what a way to win.
I don't even care, Terry. We're winning the league, bro. We're winning the league, bro. That game, right? I'm not even going to lie. I missed the first sort of 50 minutes of the game because I was out with the kids for the day, took the kids out for the day. And on my way back, I stuck TalkSport on, was listening to it because I expected the game to be a bit of a formality. And to hear it, we was 2-0 down. I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. But I managed to get back to watch the 3 Arsenal games and the 3 Arsenal goals. And what a comeback. What a goal at the end as well. As people have already said in the comments section, title winners come from behind with last-minute goals. And, you know, we've done it against Aston Villa. But today was even like, I couldn't believe it. My emotion is just ridiculous right now. I ran across the room, knee sliding, doing all sorts of stuff when that goal went in. Yeah, we're winning the league, bro. I'm sorry, but we are winning the league. This team, yeah, I called them pussies a few weeks ago. They weren't pussies today, bro. They weren't pussies today. They showed proper fight, proper bottle, proper mentality. And Reece Nelson as well, right? For a guy who hasn't played football for a long time, to come on, he changed the game. He got the assist for the second goal. He scored the third goal. I thought, you know, Fabio Vieira, not great today. Tomiyasu as well. Maybe, you know, Mikel Arteta's changes like to the starting lineup didn't quite work out how we, you know, necessarily wanted them to. But the substitutions work, and the substitutions, you know, won us the game in the end. And like I say, going 2-0 down to Bournemouth, you don't expect that. 19th place in the league. They scored in the first minute. I can only assume that, you know, we was caught cold. We'd switched off. We wasn't concentrating fully.
I don't think
And then to go,
I think the right expression would be you didn't switch on. You were just sleeping from the kickoff. It was crazy. And Arsenal probably never conceded a goal that quickly before in the Premier League, 9 seconds.
Yeah, one of the quickest goals in the Premier League history, isn't it? And then to go 2-0 down again, you know. But to come back, Terry, come on, we're winning the league.
I think huge praise has to be given to King Arteta as well, because I think it was his kind of tactical, know-how. He put Nelson on. That was a big decision because he had Smith Rowe on, who was a sub, by the way. He took a sub off to put. Then, if you watch when Reece came on, he stood with him for about a couple of minutes, looked into his eyes, gave him clear instructions, gave him that belief. That same belief he's given so many other players within, like Xhaka, Saka, you know, all of these players. He gave them that belief. But what a way to finish, man. That is, you know, like, as football fans, Terry, and you guys in the panel, you know this. There's ways to win a match. There's ways to... This is why we love football. Like, obviously, we're Arsenal fans, but there's ways to... believe...
Is he cutting out?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is cut out there, bro. Try calling back in. But I think what he was saying is true. The way you win is important. We're getting a bit of feedback from you, Brandon, by the way. We're getting really bad. So
just quick, can I just say, all the people crying in the comment section about the fact that it was 98 minutes instead of 96, get over yourselves. Yeah, they was wasting time. If it had been for your team, you'd have done the same thing. You'd have felt the same way as what we do. You're just scared. Pack it in, man.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, this game, like, there's nothing like it, and it shouldn't feel this way because it's Bournemouth, and it should have been business as usual, but you can never take anything for granted in this league. Like, that's why it's the best league in the world. Anybody can get beaten on any given day. But 3 unlikely scores. I think for me, that's, you know, I don't think Martinelli or Saka had their best games, but they were the players that carried us against Everton. But today it was different people that stepped up. And that's what's so important. I think Thomas Partey was culpable for the second goal that Bournemouth scored, because not only did he give away a really soft foul for no reason, but he was bad defensively. He's the one who got our first goal back. And you could see he just grabbed the ball and ran back. For me, that's mentality. Reece Nelson, he comes in. Mind you, Reece Nelson would not have been on the bench today had Nketiah been fit. He wasn't on the bench last game. I don't think people realize that. Reece Nelson wasn't even on the bench last game. So for him to come in, and the only reason why he played today was because ESR just wasn't doing the business. ESR came off the bench first. He wasn't that good. He didn't really do much, and he wasn't dynamic enough. Reece Nelson had the mentality to come in. He was really direct, and he got the assist for Ben White's first ever Arsenal goal. Like, this is the first goal that he's ever scored for Arsenal Football Club. And I want to say they only scored 1 for Leeds. This is an unlikely goal scorer. And then for Reece Nelson to have the composure at the end of the match, last kick of the game, basically, to put it in the back of the net with his weaker foot, it's just insane. Like, I am just over the moon. I'm emotional. I know a lot of people cried. I know it. Because I felt like I was just going to cry. Not because this means that we're winning the league, but this team is different. And everybody gets to that realization at a different time. I think I felt like the team was different after Aston Villa, but my God, I mean, I had started, texting. I was like, well, at least we got a point. And then we turned around and got all 3. What? Mikel Arteta deserves so much credit for the substitutions, keeping everybody calm. I mean, I just don't even know. We're winning the league, period.
I like hearing it. Egal, how about yourself, my friend? Because it was a tough game. You 2-0 down. It felt like the refereeing decisions weren't going your way. Like, before we talk about the game, tell me how you feel, what your emotions on this, because fan emotion is the most important thing to the football terrace, because that's what matters more than tactics and stuff. So how are you feeling?
We showed the heart of champions. We showed that we want this more than anybody else. I know it's Bournemouth, but we didn't play our best. We showed that when the chips are down and it looks like we're gonna face an opportunity where we're gonna drop points, and everyone else usually would drop their heads, that we pick ourselves up. And it might be poetic justice that today's the first day that Arsenal have ever had a full 11 out at the beginning of the game post Arsene Wenger era. This is the first time we've had a whole 11 without any Arsene Wenger players starting. And today, this is the beginning of a new Arsenal, guys. Everybody who hasn't seen this team and has been saying, you know what, I'm still doubting it, I still question this. What are you questioning? Look at it, what's in front of you. We don't buckle. We continue to push on. We face adversity, 2-0 down. We find our way. Emil Smith-Rowe got injured. Trossard got injured. We didn't even talk about that. We got numerous players go down throughout the game, ruin the flow of the game. Guess what? It didn't matter. Next man up, next man up. Reece Nelson comes on, changes the game. Shout out to Reece Nelson. Absolutely changed the game. Unlikely hero, similar to what he did against Nottingham Forest. When Saka went down and we thought the game was done, he did it again. And I am absolutely beside myself. I lost my voice. I was yelling and screaming. Right now, I don't want to do that. But I'm telling you guys, I genuinely don't think you guys realize how much this galvanizes the squad. I genuinely don't think you guys realize how much this puts more belief in everyone's heads that we can goddamn do this. Not just the fans, not just the people who disbelieve, the team. They've never been this connected. And honestly, I do believe in no longer in the back of their minds, this is in the front of their minds. They're saying to themselves, we have a 5-point lead, we're not going to let it slip. And it doesn't matter if there's 5 seconds left, 2 seconds left, 7 minutes left in added time, we're going to find our way. And that is a scary sight for every single one of you guys. You should be absolutely beside yourselves.
Just as some dickhead said on YouTube in August, just be scared. Yeah, listen, listen, I agree. I think rivals should be worried about Arsenal. This is not a flash in the pan season where you're performing above and beyond yourselves. If every game was like today, you could argue that. But the reason these games mean more is because the majority of your wins have been relatively comfortable. And again, how do I recognize this? When my team was good for the first 2 decades or so of my life, this is what we did. We had most of our games are comfortable, and every now and then you'd have a team that would give you a tough time, but invariably you'd still find a way to win. And it got to a point why sometimes when we just play at home against the Bournemouths and you'd be 2-0 up at half time, you go down to get a drink from the bars like behind where the seating area is in grounds for anyone that hasn't been, and sometimes you'd sit there drinking until like the 60th, 70th minute and then go back up and check on the result because it was just seen as business as usual. But if you were losing or suddenly you were behind, it was like, oh, I used to get more excited. At least there's a game on now. And Arsenal are kind of falling into that pattern now of these games are rare. There's been 2 in a space of a couple of weeks, but they're rare for Arsenal this season. So the emotion comes rising to the top. But I did want to ask you all, because there was some poor officiating today. There was one, the ones that I looked at, there was 2 from a block shot on the elbow here, and there was 3 from Billings. I don't know what the other 4 handballs were people were talking about, but 3 handball decisions that could have gone Arsenal's way today. What did you make of the officiating on the game?
We weren't good enough in the first half, but the refereeing was utter disrespectful to the level of refereeing that should be played in this league. We know how bad the referees are. These guys are never going to change. But my question is, what is the exact rule? If the rule is that under your shirt, I'm pretty sure there was at least 3 of those balls hit under a person's shirt. If you're saying it's close to your body, if it's close to your body, I get it, because at least 2 of them were close to your body. But the first one, definitely, I thought it was a penalty. And even Tomiyasu getting kicked, I questioned that one. I think there's absolutely 4 opportunities where you could have given a penalty, but it is what it is. We won the goddamn game. Referees and your corruptness, continue to do what you got to do. We're gonna still win this league even with you guys against us.
We deserved at least 1 penalty. Period.
Yeah. The Tomiyasu one that stood out the most. The Tomiyasu one.
The penalty. The Tomiyasu
How was
one.
there 4 shouts in one game?
I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't believe Tomiyasu got kicked. Looked at it back. I was like, they were like, he just slipped. I was like, are you for real? Like, no. And then the Billing one for me, they were like, oh, he was pulling his hand away. I don't give a damn. Your hand was like this. The ball hit your hand like that. That is a penalty. But what can you do? Because I still feel like there's times where we get calls that are kind of, so it kind of evens itself out. but we persevered beyond that and the time wasting, which is most important. But we deserved at least one penalty in that game.
Not in recent weeks, though, Jess. This is where I'll disagree, right? And I don't want to be one of these fans who sit here and say there's a conspiracy against Arsenal. But if we look at recent weeks, Leicester, that's a penalty on Saka all day long. And if that had happened, the following week or the week after that, I could guarantee you they'll give it. And it's like Egal said, right? It's not the fact that they're not giving them or they are giving them. It's the inconsistency. It's just a joke. Because, again, today, you see them handballs. They wasn't given today, but I can guarantee you that'll happen next week and they'll give them. So they need to sort that out because, just recently, I am looking at VAR decisions that have gone against Arsenal. Luckily, we've shown the bottle to come through that, and it hasn't affected us in terms of our points and making sure that we're winning games and stuff like that. But even so, you expect better than that. And the officiating in the Premier League has got to be better. It's poor. It's so poor.
Terry, we average more apologies this season than the PGOL have done in their whole history. That's ridiculous.
And again, I don't think there's a corruption against Arsenal. I've seen many with my club. There was one we had in a cup game recently where Weghorst wins the ball, gets the ball first. The guy went to boot it and clear it, misses the ball, smashes him in the shin, and nothing was given. I thought, when looking back at these penalties, I didn't think this one was. This angle makes it look like it is, but his arm's right by his side. He's kind of twisting him. Didn't think it was. This one here, I felt it was so close. There's not much he could do. The first one was the one that was a penalty for me because I understand his arm's in a natural position to head the ball, but he misses his head and it hits the arm, which stops it falling to one of your players. And I know that it's meant to be, they say it's deliberate, but at the same time, it's still handball for me. I think they've got to really look at this rule around, if it's going to just be what deliberate handball is, then essentially you should only ever give it if somebody makes a bloody goal line save, type thing. Then at least it'll be consistent. The problem is you'll see one given like this in the next few games. It looks identical and it creates a problem. But there we go. Brandon, look, I'm going to roll you out because there's some connection issues and we'll chat to you again soon. Because, listen, I've got to give this young man credit because all the other Tottenham fans that are fully grown men have not come to face their demons today, but young Daniel has. So I don't want anyone on the panel to give Dan too much crap. I mean that because he's a young man, you know what I mean? And he's actually had the balls to show up today. He's actually had the balls to show up. So young Daniel's here with us. Alex is going to be joining us again soon. I'll give you proper props, Daniel, for turning up because at the end of the day, a lot of other Spurs fans, the ones that speak smack, they ain't even here. They've got the link. They're not too busy. I've seen these guys, what they're up to. These TikTokers don't have friends. Do you know what I mean? They should be here. That's all I'm saying. They don't have friends. They should be here. We're all here. We ain't got friends. Do you know what I mean? People that sit on the internet all the time don't have friends. I'm joking. I'm only playing there. I'm going to come to Dan in a moment. I'm going to come chat to you in a second. I've got some super chats to do here because I don't want to ignore them. This says 6 minutes of extra. Sorry, we already did that one there. This says the reaction of champions never say die attitude. This here says, Terry, why are Arsenal fans so desperate to include United in the title race? I don't get it. United fans are happy with... listen, some Arsenal fans want to do it. It's a very, very clear attempt of what I call the pre-planted banter. You convince United fans to say they're in a title race, and then when we don't win the league, you can go, ha, you fouled. That's the only reason why. We're 14 points behind Arsenal. They are 14 points better than us. To call that a title race, you're a fool. You're a fool. Yeah. So listen, Arsenal fans are meant to do that. United fans have got to remain strong and not get dragged into it out of pride. Harry Kane, the club of losers do not deserve you, is what Moyley says. Zane's looking he's had to man. I don't know what that means. I can't read that. I don't even think that's my dyslexia, bro. Try that again, Khalid. Thank you. Ever since you called them pussies, we went on fire. Yeah, listen, maybe more Arsenal fans should do it. No, I'm joking. Listen, they needed to respond from that City game, Arsenal, and they've responded with, I think, better than most Gooners expected them to. I was sad today. Come on, you Gooners. I've got Super Mick Arteta. He knows exactly what we need. Kieran at the back, Gabby in attack, Arsenal on the way to the Champions League, is what Mondu says there. I'm not singing it, but I'll read it for you. This team, I don't want I don't want to go Ted Lasso, but the greatest players that can transform a team is named Belief. Appreciate the content, Terry. Come on, you gooners. Thank you, Bannon. I never watched Ted Lasso, so I don't get the quote. But
Terry's never watched Ted Lasso, but we'll get him on it soon. Make him
soon.
watch.
I just don't have time.
When you
Okay.
you have time.
I don't have time. You know how much I work. So, has anyone checked on expressions? I'll be checking in later for fan channel review. Don't you worry. Hope you're well, X. I've got actually before I check in on him, I'm going to go to North London and pick up my lollipop. Oh my God, what a comeback for Arsenal. Man City is going to win the league. Ha ha ha. Obviously being sarcastic. Gooners, we won. Woo! Ric Flair voice. I know that.
Let's get it.
I know that. By the way, I know a lot of people. John Cena started following me today. I'm not a wrestling fan, but a big up John Cena, who's a Spurs fan, I believe. Academy players are contributing to the title race. BDA says no one in the world has said there's a power shift in North London this year. Defo banter and also 3 irregular scorers. This is a championship winning team, is what BDA says. And Marshall back again states here, United have done this many times this season, coming back from losing positions. But Arsenal fans say Man United wins are not sustainable. But when they do it, it's champions mentality. Make it make sense. Can make that make sense very quickly. When they're doing it to discredit Man United, and that's what rival fans should do to a degree. That's it. Simple and straightforward as that. I don't do it because it'd give me no credibility when doing these shows with you all. Tuned in to TalkSport, waiting for Jamie O'Hara. I'm not sure what Gary has to say now. I'm a Man United fan, but credit where credit is due. OG big teams, Man United and Arsenal are on the up. And Adrian here says, watching a team that over-relies on defenders to defend, be creative outlets and score goals is pathetic. What does Havertz do that warrants him starting? This win will only paper over cracks. Talking about Chelsea's win today, which we haven't even spoke a molecule about really yet. Already done that super chat. They won't stop coming. Love Terry. Nelson, more goals than Mudryk. That's mad. Neville predicted in the last few days on the overlap that Arsenal would finish 3rd behind United. Blame him for the title chase banter. Yeah, again, I don't. So listen, I look at it this way. I love Man United. I'm not associated to any other Man United fan. I do that in life as well. Like I'm an English guy, but I am sovereign in my own right. Don't judge me with other English people because some of them are dickheads. Ramos has gotten no mentions, but he kept us in it. I mentioned him at the start. 2 big saves. One at 1-0 to go 2-0 down in the first half. And then there was one, I think it was from Billing again. It might be Solanke. When it went to 2-1, they nearly went 3-1 up. He had 2 brilliant moments in that game. Yeah. Nelson came in, an assist and a goal with a weaker foot. The confidence Arteta gives his players is amazing. Come on, you gooners. Massive 3 points, 6 closer to safety. Potter, in Potter we trust, is what Nathaniel has got to say here. And on a kickoff, do the players have to be behind the halfway line before the ball is kicked? If so, I think the first goal was an obvious error as well. Was somebody slightly over the halfway line? Maybe. Look, for me, I would say if someone's foot's like a millimeter over, I'd still be looking at my team for not being awake from the opening minute personally. But I hear you on that. Arsenal fans, stay with us. Chelsea fans, stay with us. But Tottenham, Daniel, what happened to Tottenham today? You're on mute, by the way.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Listen, Terry, I'm done with our fan base. We've got the stupidest fan base in the history of English football. We win a few games under Stellini. Stellini's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then we lose a few games under Stellini and Conte has to go. How does that make sense? Make it make sense. We've got just today, to be honest, I thought we dominated the game. I didn't think we played poorly today. It's just those lapses in concentration. When you see the balls coming back in off the crossbar and everybody's just standing there watching him get the rebound. Stupidity like that costs us big games. And I honestly think Son had a good game today. I think Harry Kane, they were marking him like man on and he was being closed down by, I think it was Kilman. But at the same time, he looked good. Kulusevski, I think he looked good. It was just those stupid lapses in concentration that always cost us in these type of games. and it's just continuously frustrating me. I don't know what it's going to take for this fan base to wake up and stop blaming the manager and start blaming it on the players that are on the pitch that are stupid, that under all these type of managers have failed. It's not the style of play. It's not the style of play. If you're going to give Stellini the credit for winning games, how are you going to blame Conte for losing games when he's not even there? It makes no sense. I'm tired of this fan base. I'm here on vacation and I can't even enjoy a weekend with this football club. I can't even enjoy a weekend. It's an absolute travesty. I hate this club, man. Honestly, it's making me so miserable, man. I'm losing hair at this point. I'm losing hair. I'm gonna be bald by the time I get to 20. It's an absolute joke.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being bald at 20, but if it's because Tottenham are losing, then there are problems. Mate, I get how you feel. You were the better team. I think I tweeted maybe just after half time that you dominated. You should be winning. And as soon as I saw Traore, I mean, imagine Traore, Adama Traore, scoring a scissor kick, crossbarring in against you. The embarrassment levels are high. You rotated midweek so you could win today. You go out of the FA Cup. No trophies coming this season. Listen, you guys better be supporting Man United tomorrow, because if Liverpool win, they are coming for your top 4 spot as well.
I'm not worried about Liverpool. I honestly, to be frank with you, I don't care about top 4. I don't want top 4. What's top 4 going to move the needle? What is that going to do? It's not like we're going to have some type of pool. What type of pool are we going to have? It's not going to do anything. I'm tired of just being in the Champions League just to be in it. What are we going to do? We're not going to compete for it. I don't care about top 4 anymore. I do not care. I'm not bothered. I honestly, at this point, for this club to move forward and for us to be a serious club, I think what we need is relegation. I said it on Egal show I was on the other day, and everybody was like, what? But it's the truth, man. What is it going to take for this fan base to wake up and stop blaming the manager and put the blame on the board? For me, it's going to take relegation. What would you guys think it would take for the fan base to actually wake up and start protesting, like we've seen the likes of Man United protest, like we've seen the likes of Arsenal protest, like those big clubs that are mad that their club aren't going for stuff, and we're in our golden area and we haven't won a trophy, and we're still not protesting. We're all just happy to be in there, and oh yeah, we're in the top 4. Oh yeah, we've got an F1 sponsorship. Oh yeah, we've got Lady Gaga coming to the stadium to sing a concert next week. I don't care. I want to see silverware. This club is driving me mad. Every weekend it's the same thing. Every season it's the same thing. We haven't won a trophy in 15 years, and I'm only 14. I haven't seen silverware. When I sit down on the table to eat lunch and I see a fork, I don't know what it is, because I don't know what silverware is. How are these fans so just accepting of just having an F1 sponsorship? Oh yeah, we've got a swimming pool. Oh yeah, we've got an Olympic running track under our pitch. I don't care. Why can't we just compete? Why is it so difficult to ask for ambition? This club is ripping me apart. Honestly, I don't know what to do anymore with this fan base.
Listen, Dan, you are
if you
spot
guys
on.
get relegated, you won't come back though. That's my one thing. Is it
What?
If you guys go down, you ain't coming back. Okay, so I would just,
At least we'd have some. At least I think we could. We don't know this. If we go down and we get somebody to come in and run our club, at least we'd have an owner that would have ambition to win a trophy. Unlike, yeah, go on.
Do you know what, Dan? I know you don't really want your team to go down. You're kind of talking like it would probably take relegation to make the fans angry enough to do something to get rid of Enoch.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Totally get what you mean, right? But if you went down, I do agree with Jess. If you probably keep your owners and you may never come back up. But you're right. One of the reasons I love Expressions' work is because he demands trophies. You demand trophies. A few Spurs fans, including Patrick, I'm going to call Patrick out. He had the link to come and didn't show his face. He questioned my video I put out the other day. Like, what? Who are you even talking to when you come for Tottenham? I'm like, brother, I'm coming for all of you that either sit on the terrace and kind of play down the criticism you get. Like we're just hating on you. There's nothing to hate on when it comes to Tottenham, other than the arrogance of Spurs fans that think they're one of us. They laugh when you don't win trophies. You have no room to laugh at other teams for not winning trophies. It makes no sense. It's like Warwick Davis teasing people for being short. It makes no sense. And the reason people come for Tottenham fans is because they have an attitude. This attitude of it's sort of champagne taste, lemonade money. That's how I feel about them. And at least you're speaking the truth. If your supporters actually cared enough, and I don't think in their heart of hearts Spurs fans care about trophies. That's why they've created a false narrative online that Harry Kane can be a world footballing legend without winning a single piece of silverware. It's impossible. It will never happen, and the football world won't allow it to happen. You can't have the rules rewritten for you. Your club are charlatans in the top 6. You're charlatans. You probably shouldn't be part of the top 6 because you win nothing. You're kind of there as bridesmaids. You're there as you're a side dish. Do you know what I mean? If you're at a restaurant and all the food's great, but you had one side dish of veg and it came out a little bit bland, you wouldn't complain. You'd pay. You wouldn't have, that's you lot. You're the bland veg on the side. But you
Terry,
come with attitude like you're the main course, and it winds everybody up.
Terry, I was just on a debate on Twitter, debating at this guy. He said, "Oh, Pochettino in. Everybody tried, but nobody can replace him." Oh yeah, what are we replacing? 0 trophies, and we replaced it with 0 trophies. And he's like, "Oh no, but we didn't win any trophies, and we probably won't win any trophies. But at least we'll have nice vibes." Are you serious? That's what we want. We want nice vibes. Nice vibes. Are you actually taking a piss? All these fans just want is some place that they can go on the weekend to watch football, have a drink with their friends, and just like that. They don't care. They don't want trophies. They have no ambition. We're the bottom. We are top 6 club, and we are big 6 club, but we're the least of the big 6. We're the bottom of the least 6. And all the other teams, they have ambition. Chelsea, they have ambition. Arsenal, they have ambition. Man United, they have ambition. Liverpool have ambition. All those clubs have ambition. And then you look at us, and we're just happy to be there. We're just the guys that are just happy to be there, happy to win no trophies, but at least if we're enjoying our time, we're making memories, and we're making friends along the way. Nobody cares. I honestly don't think our fan base deserves anything. Our fan base deserves exactly what's going on right now, and every season they deserve every little bit of this pain because they don't ask for anything more.
It's not only about your fan base. Your owners have to have that extra push. And if they don't give you, if they don't ever give any of your former managers that extra push, and they sack the only manager that recently got you to a cup final the day before a cup final, honestly, they don't give a shit about trophies, and it's not about. Exactly. And your fan base should have been demanding this years ago. Dan, it's not on you. It's not on you. Maybe you're demanding this. Maybe some of you guys are, but as a collective, you guys should have been in uproar a long time ago, not now. When Poch didn't get any signings, that's when you should have been in uproar, when you're still at the top of the league, not now. It's too late.
But that's exactly what I'm saying, though. It is the board's fault, but I'm more angry at the fans because they're not putting pressure on the board to do these things.
I agree with you, Dan. You're absolutely spot on. Man United fans are celebrating the idea of the club being sold. They think it's because of their protest. No, it's because the club ran out of money, you morons. Like, it's crazy. Alex is here. Alex has always been someone that didn't want trophies. Just top 4 on Poch is what he wanted. How are you feeling today, Alex? Because your club is an absolute embarrassment, and I want to know your thoughts on that.
Firstly, have respect, Terry. It's not Alex anymore. Alex is gone. He's finished. I sacked his ass. The name's Mr. Box Office. The main event. If you don't know, get to know. So get with it, bruv. Firstly, I don't come for fans. I don't do that. The only thing that I do is when I start saying that the gift that keeps on giving, saying that Emerson is a masterclass. I'm sorry, he's pathetic. He's an absolute pathetic right wing back, and I'm sorry, that's not what I celebrate at the end of the day. The reality is with Tottenham fans, because the main event, Tottenham fans, and you know, you can put pictures on the people that want to get your 5 minutes of fame, by the way, Terry, like you always do want to get the 5 minutes of fame on Mr. Box Office's time, by the way. You know, I mean, the Professor of Truth and Entertainment speaking, and put respect on the name, bruv. Like I said, yeah.
You are right, Alex. I absolutely need you for
you're muting me now to try and get your 5 minutes of fame again. But like I said before, you know what I mean? like I said before, what was the question that I said before? Why are we getting in Conte for? Because we're not actually listening to him, are we? Because you actually listened to a winner. You know what I mean? We actually want to do it our way, which didn't really work at all, didn't it? Really, at all, really. You know, and at the end of the day, we're not listening to him, are we? So what was the point of getting Conte in the first place? Tell me, bruv. Tell me. Because it's Dyer, Virgil van Dijk. We need to change his name now to Virgil van Dijk now. How's that working out for Tottenham fans at the moment? Not really well at the moment, isn't it? You know what I mean? It really worked out in the FA Cup, which we should have won, by the way. Should have done something, by the way. You know what I mean? But it doesn't work out at all, doesn't it? I'm not surprised by this. I ain't learning nothing by this. You know what I mean? Because the only time that Tottenham Hotspur were actually relevant was the 1960s and 1980s, which you have to Google, which is Bill Nicholson and Keith Birkinshaw, when we won championships, really. And that's it. And that's all I need to say. And that's it. And also, another thing as well, Kane, you're a loser. And I said this on my channel already. Alex THFC, if I really want to know. So I've said it already. It's there on the channel already if you really want to know. Like I said, Son, you're a loser because you don't win no trophies. And that's it. When you say
Son is not a loser.
Jamie Vardy is more decorated person than Harry Kane. What does that say to you, bruv? And that's all I need to say. So I'll give it back to Terry to say something stupid again like he always does. And that's it. I'm done.
Do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? You say give it back to Terry to say something stupid. I agree with you. Your club are losers because they don't win trophies. But you agree with me. You're literally speaking my language, brother. Listen, I appreciate your honesty. At least you're not like a lot of Tottenham fans that are lying about your club. You're in the mud again right now. You're in fourth position. But for you,
fourth is not a trophy. Fourth is not a trophy.
Exactly. Facts.
Exactly. Fourth isn't a trophy, and your club isn't winning the Champions League anyway. So all it's about for you is money. However, though, Alex, you're a part of that problem because don't you have a season ticket?
Okay, bruv. Firstly, I don't see your name on my page yet, bruv. So don't come at me, bruv. You know what I mean?
No,
my point is, no. Don't come at me and say that
Alex,
I support my team.
Alex,
I support my
you're
team.
Not supporting your team.
Yes, I do support my team.
Support the team, not the regime.
I support my team.
Alex,
so you can't have a go at me, bruv.
Alex, let me just mute you for a second. That's not supporting your club, though. You giving money and funding the same very people that you say are damaging your club because they only care about money, you're doing them more harm than good. What fans like you need to do is pull your money. All your owners care about.
Can I come back to that then?
No, let me finish.
Because you're coming at me in the wrong way.
Let me finish, and then you can. Let me finish, and then you can, Alex. If your owners only care about making money, if your owners only care about the sponsorship deals and Lady Gaga and becoming even richer off the back of Tottenham, why fund them? When you sit there and say all the things they do aren't making my team better, how is you giving them your money making your club better and winning those trophies? How are you helping?
I love this argument because it's a pathetic argument. The point is, if you don't go to that game, other people are going to go to the game as well. They'll just take your ticket.
Hang on a minute, that's not the question I'm asking you. I understand other people might take your ticket, but you would still be doing your part to get rid of Enoch. Why? So what I'm basically hearing is, well, I might as well go against my principles and go to the game anyway because somebody else will. But you could stand there with your head high and say, I'm sacrificing what I want to get rid of these owners that are never going to turn us into champions. Why would you not make the sacrifice personally?
I don't understand the argument, Terry. The point I'm making is, okay, regardless whether you don't go or not, people will still go.
But
Alex,
you said that twice now.
You're having a go at me. You're having a go at me.
I'm not having a go at you, Alex. I'm asking you a question. You will sit there on multiple streams and say the owners don't care.
I didn't say that though. Did I say that anything about the owners? Did I say anything about the owners? Did I say anything about the owners though?
Slow down.
No, I'm slowing down. I'm slowing down. But you're saying to me about the owners. I didn't talk about the owners though, didn't I?
I'm gonna mute you again so I can answer a question on my show. Answer your question. I'm talking about what you've said across multiple shows, what you've said in group chats. I know you say things. You've criticized owners. You agree with the fact that you're not trying to become champions. It's more about the stadium and money. I'm asking why you personally still go. I'm not saying you're wrong for doing it. I'm asking why you consist. Like, you're never going to force change at a club whilst you're feeding into the sole and most important element for your owners, which is making money. So I'm just asking why. I'm asking why you make that choice. That's the question.
That's bruv. It's a free world. Firstly, okay. I don't buy any food. But listen. No,
Alex, I'm interjecting again. Answer the question. Why do you personally choose to do it? Why do you personally choose to do it? Why do you personally choose to do it, Alex? Oh, he's gone. Like, that's all I'm asking. I'm trying to ask a match-going fan who moans about his owners, says we're losers, says we're never going to do the right thing. I'm just trying to understand what makes him keep going. Because I've said I don't know if it is supporting the team if you're funding something that you say is damaging your team. If you choose to go, of course, free world, free country, do what you want. But I don't understand the logic of funding it. And I was just trying to ask him, and he didn't want to answer it. I didn't say it weren't a free world. Crazy response, really, in my opinion. But there we go. Bye-bye, Mr. Box Office is what I would probably probably say. Yeah, listen, I know Alex wasn't listening, but no one ever does. And the argument that somebody else should just take your ticket, it's not an argument for me. My argument is, why do you do it? And I think Alex answers it in that question, which is, well, there's no point me sacrificing if the owners aren't going to go, so I might as well go anyway. That's a fair choice. But for me, stop moaning if you're funding and supporting the club in its endeavors, if you think the endeavors are going in the wrong direction. You know, if someone's sailing into the oblivion and they're sailing into danger, and you say, oh, that shouldn't happen, but yet you fund it and let it happen, it's weird. It's weird to me. Stop it. Stop it is my question.
But the thing you have to realize is that somebody's going to end up funding it either way. So I understand where Alex is coming from. He wants to support the team, but he doesn't want to support the regime. So he's going to go to the stadium and watch the games, because either way, if he doesn't pay for the ticket, somebody else will come and swipe it up. I live in Florida. I'm from Miami, and I never got to go Tottenham. And the other day I went to watch the Tottenham versus Arsenal game. So either way, somebody's going to come in and get his ticket. It doesn't matter.
I understand that logic, but I don't think in principle it works. If 30,000 fans at any of our clubs walked out tomorrow, they're not selling 30,000 tickets to tourists. Then they're not. It's a fallacy. Everybody believes they would, but they wouldn't. They wouldn't sell 30,000 tickets, 40,000 tickets. It's a lie. There's not that many people asking for them. They just isn't.
The thing with the majority of our fans, though. If there was that many fans, they just would never sell it. It's a convenient excuse for, I'm going to moan, but I'm going to do nothing about it. And that is society in the Western world today. 95% of people moan and tweet and Insta post, but do nothing tangible or sacrifice nothing to get the outcome they want. And I just like calling it out, mainly to see people squirm. It's funny. I like it. If you are against your owners because they're money hungry, but you give them money, you are one. So stop moaning. Simple as that for me. Winter Surfer. Chelsea won today.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I was just enjoying the rest of the conversations. That was yeah, we did. We won today. We're staying up. We won our relegation 6-pointer. So we're all good. I did see one of the most bizarre set of substitutions and cowardly acts from a manager I've ever seen. On the 65th minute, he decided to take off João Felix and Sterling and replace them with Zakaria and Gallagher. And basically, for the second half, we played 3-6-1 after that formation. Leeds weren't peppering us. Kepa never made a save that was in danger or anything like that. But the performance again was not that very good. He should still go even after today. We got the win, which is fantastic. You know, I always want the 3 points, but today was just another bit where you saw him out of his depth again. And we ended up having I don't even know, one attacker by the end of the game as well. I mean, it was pathetic, really. It's pathetic management. I'm okay with that situation if you go down to 10 men. You know what I mean? And then you pack the rest of the game out with defensive players, I'm fine. But we were 1-0 up at home against Leeds, who didn't do anything to us whatsoever. It was just another way. It was bizarre substitutions, very bizarre. But we won. So
it was a weird game. I kind of had it. I was trying to watch all three. It was difficult to watch all three, but it was a weird match in the sense of you were, in my opinion, the better team. Leeds had great opportunities to score as well. The substitutions are weird. Kai Havertz again. I mean, just another stinker from him. And did you say? Well,
that's just the normal. That's the norm.
Yeah, no,
I've got unpopular opinion on Potter. So I think in Chelsea fans, you should actually trust Potter. I might get heat for this, and I want to know what you think. This is what debates are for, right? You tell me why you think Potter should go, and I'll tell you why I think you should back him. So if you actually look at it, this period that Potter's going through is very similar to the Arteta period. Very similar. And you can see what you're trying to do. You can see you had 3 big chances today and 3 big chances missed. I think if you give him time and you give him a number 9 that could finish to save his life, you guys could actually be a pretty good team. That's my personal opinion.
Let me ask Jess, and I already know the answer. Let me ask Jess and Egal. Did Arteta go 2-17 at all?
2-17. The interest is that even as bad as Arteta was at certain points, he was never where Potter was to be honest. And Arteta even said, like, at a certain point, you have to win games. Like, it's not an excuse. I did find it really strange when Potter turned around and started using Arteta as like some sort of like, it's just like that. It was very like, but it's not though, because Arteta never made those types of excuses. So yeah, but he won today. And I still feel like he needs more time, because what I'm looking at is like, you can't even really see whether or not he's making the right decisions or doing the right thing. There's too many players, there's too much outside forces, too much stuff. But at the same time, like, he just hasn't really stepped up in a way that gives anybody any confidence. And he does seem a little bit like he's drowning. But happy to see that you guys won a game, because that keeps him in the job a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly.
I just feel like to draw comparisons to Arteta's situation would try to say he's at the same state that Arteta was after we lost to Man City at the beginning of like last season or whenever it happened. I don't think he's in that stage. I think Potter is like in a situation where the fan base doesn't trust him. The board don't really know what they're doing, and there's no clarity at the top. So his job is never going to really be 100% safe. So he's always going to have more struggles than Arteta did, because Arteta had unwilling control at the time. And he also, sorry, that's not the right words. He had ultimate backing from the board and the people in the club. I don't think Potter has that. So he's always going to have a little bit of a more shaky situation. And your club history doesn't help with the fact that your club is historically known for constantly chopping and changing managers.
The issue, he has this weird, I could say Tuchel out before, but this weird Havertz fetish of keeping him on for 90 minutes when he doesn't do anything as well. He doesn't lead the line. If you're going to play a defensive lineup, you want your sole attacker to do one or two things. You want him to run the channels with the ball, take up, keep it, or you want to have him hold up the ball so that others can join in. Doesn't really do that. He's not that type of player either. He's not that striker. So asking him to do something like that is just weird. If you're going to do that, bring on Aubameyang. But he's never going to bring on Aubameyang. He only probably brought him on last week so people stopped talking about him. It's just madness.
Yeah. On Aubameyang, do you think it could be a disciplinary issue? Because we saw me drawing comparisons to Arteta. You saw what Arteta did with Aubameyang. And his choice was not Aubameyang. Going back to the Arteta point, though, Arteta was 15th midway through the season at one point. So, and you could even argue it was worse than what it is right now, because they were 15th. 15th. I remember that there was absolute outbursts in the Arsenal fan base. Nobody wanted him. There was a protest against the board. So it's pretty much the exact same thing, I think, in my opinion, that it is now. And I don't think. Who do you think you should play? Because I think Aubameyang is disciplinary issues that they're not playing on top. And me comparing him to Arteta proves that point even more. He's not playing Aubameyang.
If it was an Aubameyang discipline issue, we would have heard something by now. This is the age where everything is leaked. Everything is leaked no matter what. We would have heard something by now if it was a disciplinary issue. I'm not sure what it is. It's strange. He didn't need to drop him from the Champions League squad to add players. He put him on the bench. Last week, he gave him 8 minutes, which was pathetic to try and impact the game. He didn't bring him on today. He kept Havertz again for another 90 minutes when he doesn't offer anything. It's just one of those. I mean, I saw Gallagher as one of our most attacking player in the second half, and he just runs around like a headless chicken.
But I'm going to be real with you, though. Like, Aubameyang, like, I know that maybe he seems like an option and you need a number 9 or somebody that can score because you're so, like, frustrated with Kai Havertz. But the last person that you need in your team when you're suffering and you need goals and you need wins is Aubameyang. He's a fair weather player. He's not going to help you right now. You're under it. He's not going to.
But then bring on Datro. Bring on Datro Fofana or rather play the kid up front. Yeah, let him see what he can do. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if it's Havertz or Aubameyang. You've got Fofana there who can do something. And we know what young players do. They have no fear sometimes, all right? Because no one knows how they play. Just at least give him some minutes. It's like he brought Carney Chukwuemeka on for the first time in ages, but then he sets him up. It's just the whole thing is just ridiculous. He was playing, and some people might say that he was playing like he did with Brighton when they went on those runs, and they needed a win to stop the rot happening. That's how he played today. He played cowardly today.
To get where you're coming from there, I've got some super chats to do here. This from Abs says, we are one Arsenal win and City loss away from a one-horse race. I mean, you're shaking your head, Dan. This is what you got to remember about this. Depends when it comes. Right now, there's 12 games left for them too. And if you I need to check. Well, I need to mute you when you're not talking because there's a background noise there, Dan. They need 2 more wins than Arsenal from the remaining 12 games. If Arsenal win and they lose, then suddenly you need 3 more wins, but it would be in 11 games. That basically means you need Arsenal to lose 3 of the last 11 games. And it doesn't become about maths. It becomes about probability based on their run rate. And on their run rate, that isn't going to happen. So if City drop points and Arsenal win in that same time, the chances of losing, it's not about maths. It's about probability. And it changes dramatically. So it's a fair point. And I wouldn't quite say one horse race, but you're almost, again, if City was to draw the next 2 games and Arsenal win them both, it's done. Because Arsenal are not going to drop. They're not going to lose 4 of their last 10 games. It's not going to happen. Sorry, this is Potter playing defensive at 65 minutes is the game to beat relegation struggle teams, such as Leeds. That's a fair point there, Victor. Most mature top Spur fan talking about you, Daniel, from Daniel. Not relegation, kid, just Arsenal winning the league. Listen, but I look, Dan was right. Dan doesn't want his team to get relegated, but he wants something to happen to make the fans step up. But then fans like Patrick will never step up because I say, but somebody else will buy the shirt or somebody else will go to the game, so I might as well do it. And that's where they get you, these owners. They treat you like a customer, but you treat them like a lover. It's mad. Spurs relegation, I love it, and I think he means deserve it, is what my guy Lamin says. Reece Nelson is in 20 minutes has scored more goals than Richarlison in the entire season, is what Una has got to say here. Jason says, Dan, as an Arsenal fan myself, I feel sympathy for you. Seeing you having this kind of passion for your club, do you need a hug, Dan? Is what Jason says there. That club of losers don't deserve Kane. Free the man for his legacy. Glory, glory, Man United. I agree. A 14-year-old with more rational thinking, I think he means, than a grown man. Sad, or brilliant for Dan's point of view. Eduardo here says, I hate calling people out, but Alex, Mr. Box Office, is the most delusional fan. Funny, acting like a kid or impressed on opinions. My 5-year-old cousin acts like like more of a grown-up. Yeah, but what he did is what the Man United fans that hate me do. When they say the Glazers are scum, they're money hungry, they only care about making profit. Why are you buying the kit then? Well, they've already been paid by the sponsors, so I might as well buy it. It's basically, that is the actions of a virtue signaler that wants to make no sacrifice to get out of life what they want. And that's the modern day world for you, charlatans. Drinking Starbucks and on an iPhone, mouth shut though. Yeah, well, I think you mean about, I'll give an example before. Yeah, anti-communist, drinking Starbucks and using iPhones, exactly. Fools. Sorry, lad, this is borderline insulting. Insulting Potter is nothing like Arteta. Arteta was building a very clear identity, style of play, attitude, the whole lot. Potter does nothing like that, is what Raul
Can I answer
says.
this?
Yeah,
Can I answer this real quick? So, name me one game that Chelsea haven't dominated under Potter. I'll name you. The only one that they haven't had more big chances than the other team. It was Man City. Man City was the last time that they got dominated by another team. And let's be honest. What team can go to Man City and dominate them? So, in my opinion, it's very similar. And Potter, you can see what he's trying to do. 3 big chances today. 3 big chances and 3 big chances missed. They need a number 9, and then they'll be cooking. Come back to me when they're cooking.
You want to know something? Arteta breathed belief into the players from when he first stepped in. I don't really see that from Potter because I think Chelsea has an issue with not having the ability to back managers because they've set the precedent where the players run the show. And whenever the chips are down, the players are going to turn to the manager and be like, it's him, not us.
Yeah. I will say this, though. I said it before. This is the most backed Chelsea manager in the past 20 years from the ownership. The most backed Chelsea manager ever. In whatever you want to say, this window, whatever. The most backed, yeah. He should have big brass balls to go in there and literally go, I'm here because you lot failed. You lot failed the 2 previous managers for most of you. They're backing me. They back me over you. He should be going there and do it. And this is not because of the players. This is him personally. It's a personality thing. It's him. He wants to be everyone's friend, everyone's guidance counselor, everyone can't, let's sing songs, let's write in our dream journals, let's do this. That's all he wants to be their friend. And that's the problem. When you're a manager, you set the line of who is under you. You don't get too close because otherwise they don't respect you.
Yeah.
That's when you give feedback or whatever. They have to take it seriously and listen.
Agreed.
He hasn't done that.
No.
Completely agree. Respect, but Arteta showed glimpses. Worst club at the moment. Yeah, you got to remember what the one walked into and the other walked into, like, and money that's been spent and everything. Kai,
glimpses on his very first game. Very first
Terry,
game, Man United at home. He showed glimpses.
totally
and then they were 15th for like a month.
And then they won an FA Cup though.
Fair play, they won an FA Cup, but who knows? Like maybe next season Potter goes and wins a Carabao Cup or something, and everybody will be talking. In my opinion, I just think that there needs to be.
I need you to look at the team that Arteta came in to coach, and then look at the abundance of attacking and defensive talent that
in the first three transfer windows. In the first 3 transfer windows, I think Arteta got more than 100 million, so he was backed as well.
Yeah, but Chelsea, like, I mean, 500 million in one window is nowhere near the same thing as 100 million. First of all, also, like, I need people to stop this. Like, I think there's like revisionist history, and like, this is no offense to you, Dan. I've seen this on Twitter a lot, but Arteta's first window was in COVID season, and we did not bring in 5, 6, 7 players. Like, we literally brought in 3, one of whom was Willian, which was on a free. The other one was Gabriel, a young center back. And the only marquee signing that we brought in was Thomas Partey, and he was injured the entire season. That's why we finished 8th that season. Then the next season, when we brought in 5, 6 players, we finished 5th. So yes, we threw away one season, but Potter has gotten 500 million in one window off of the back of 2 months earlier. He got Raheem Sterling, Aubameyang, Koulibaly, and Cucurella. Like, and Arteta showed glimpses with Aubameyang and Lacazette and Socrates and Mustafi against Manchester United in his very first game. It is not comparable. Yes, Potter needs time, but keep my manager's name out of your mouth. It is not similar at all. I'm sorry. Like, I get so tired of it. I keep seeing it on Twitter. I don't understand why I'm seeing that. It's not similar. It's not
similar. The moment you point at Arteta as an example of why you should stay in your job, you're getting sacked soon because you're giving up on yourself.
I think it made sense. Maybe after the first 3 or 4 games when it started slowly, I kind of got people saying, "Oh, but Arteta started slowly," but it's moved beyond that now, and I think that's the difference. This year says Kai is on the pitch to trigger the press and help build up play. Clearly, Potter rates him more than Aubameyang floating and adding nothing to the game. Look, I understand the logic of that, but this is why I criticize the Jack Grealish stuff. Starting the press and creating space for others and carrying balls and all these things that everyone should be doing that, like in those attacking positions. But at the end of the day, scoring and assisting is your main job. And if you ain't doing it, you ain't good enough. Nelson has 15 GA in 85 Premier League minutes this season. That's a goal or assist every 70 minutes. Surely this makes him the best player in the Premier League by far. I love that. That's funny, Josh. Reece deserved this. We're winning the league, guys, is what David says here. And Arteta took over a dodgy club, and look at what he did in his first season. Potter has all the 600 million worth of players at his disposal right now, is what Jason has got to say. Well, I think a few quick calls here as well from people who've been waiting a while. Akhil here wants to say, Akhil's an Arsenal fan. What are you saying, bro?
Big up the Gunners. What a win. I mean, we have 3 wins today. We had Spurs losing, we had Chelsea winning, and we had Arsenal winning. That's like 3 wins for me today. Potter gets to stay, Spurs lose, and then we win. I mean, what a game. I mean, I was supposed to be at a concert tonight. I thought I'm going to stay back and watch this game, and thank God I watched this game. It was amazing. I would say, though, when we went 2-0 down, I was feeling that the team was a bit complacent. I think when I saw all the predictions coming in, it was like 4-5-0. I just got the Everton vibes again, because when we were super confident it's Everton, we lost. But the mentality to come back, especially when the second goal went in the second half, then it's more work to do. But then we came back, and then Ben White, Thomas Partey getting those goals back. Yeah, it's big mentality. And I think this team is different. People start better believing. I was seeing all the reactions out there when we were 2-0 down. People were waiting for the crumbling is about to happen. The league is done. Man City are winning this. And the minute we went 3-2 up, all those tweets were deleted. So it's pure justice. Loved it.
Yeah, no, I totally get what. Listen, I think for an Arsenal fan today with those 3 results, it's like perfection. And all you probably need now is Man United to lose tomorrow for it to be the perfect weekend for Gooners. And
isn't it 4 on the bounce, Terry?
For what?
4 wins, not 3.
No. I said today's 3 wins. What Akhil said, because you won, Spurs lost, and Potter won at Chelsea, so he keeps me in the job. I said to make it 4 would be Man United losing tomorrow. That's what I was referring to. So yeah, listen, Akhil, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say and all the support you give the Football Terrace. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much, bro. Top man. There was a comment that came in here, a star. It said Terry's logic equals don't blame Potter, blame the fans for buying tickets. And that's so disingenuous. If Chelsea fans were saying we're failing because their owners are only here taking money out the club, then you giving money would be a problem. But you're not blaming the club for being owners for being money hungry. So come on, my friend. You've just honestly, Drew, I'm glad you're not using your real name, because again, if your dad saw it, he'd sit there and go, why didn't I pull out? Why didn't I pull out and do it all over your mum's ass? Do you know what I mean? That's what he's thinking with comments like that, bruv. That's what he's thinking. It's like a waste of Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad banter. I've got to teach these youngsters how to banter properly. It's a terrible one. You're a waste of That's what you were. Come on now. Chill out. Chill, bro. Chill. Dan, no hug for you anymore is what Jason's got to say. I think that's after comparing Potter and Arteta. He ain't having it. They're not happy at all. They're not happy with you. Gooners don't like it. And I get why Gooners don't like it. Do you mean chill, Terry? Look, dead banter equals you get cooked on the terrace. And the man just got barbecued tenderly. And it is a violation. That was the point. But he came on here. Listen, you take a shot at the king, don't miss. Most people miss, though. That's what they do. Listen, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who tuned in to the show today. It means a great, great deal to us. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you hit the bell notification as well, because the algorithm is not your friend. More content out later tonight. And then tomorrow, fan channel review in the morning is going to be fun. I assume it's going to be fun after today's results. And then, of course, the big reaction to Manchester United versus Liverpool in the afternoon. So make sure you're all there. Even rivals, we want to see you all there tomorrow. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.